Welcome, friends, to the Gaijin Animation Appreciation Hour with your hosts, Sig Bisley and Colt Mauser. Before we get started, please be sure to like this video and subscribe for more content just like this. Now, let the animation appreciation commence.
All right, I had COVID last week, so that's where I was, at home. And I didn't think anybody'd want to listen to me blow my nose for an hour. So.
Third time.
Yeah, I had OG, I had Omicron, and whatever the fuck this one is. Stuffy head, I don't know.
I'm going to knock on one. I had that shit once.
Yeah, well, I'm nice enough not to spread it around, unlike some people.
Patient zero, yes.
Anyway, so we were going to do Freedom this week.
I'm going to push that.
I know everybody wants their 7-episode Cup Noodles commercial. But in light of things, we're going to push that till next week. And we finally watched the Aqua Teen movie. And it was as fantastic as you would imagine.
If you're a fan of that kind of thing, it's really good.
No, if you're a fan of anything.
Nah, you know how people are, man. Some people aren't cool. You know
I don't think
mean?
anybody likes any of the things we talk about, really. So.
Oh, come on now. Don't get all Debbie Downer on me.
No, it's probably true. That's why I talk about them so hard. Because people need to know. Anyway, so we got that. We got the last 4. Listen, most people didn't even like Maniac. Speaking of Maniac.
I know.
Because we got the last 4 episodes.
JUNJI Ito is bizarre as fuck. So if you're not prepared for that.
But that's the point, man.
I understand.
Anyway,
that. You understand that.
double episodes that I watched.
Your average Netflix donk doesn't understand that.
That's true. Pathetic. And before any of that, it's probably a lot of news.
Yeah. So yeah, midweek episode. We got some midweek news because this will be dropping on a Wednesday.
Yeah, vacation this weekend. Damn it.
Yeah, that's right. Getting
Get
the hell out of town.
Fuck out of here
for once.
Christ.
Doing the same thing we did the last time we were able to leave town before all this stupidity popped
that's
off.
True. It's like a perfect circle.
It's full circle.
Dun, dun, dun. Anyway, maybe my luck will get better after that.
Yeah.
We'll see.
All right. So start off with news that this is strange news because this is something that should have already happened a long time ago and then didn't happen and then just happened randomly because Nintendo's weird. So they had a Nintendo Direct, and then they're just like, hey, we did a remaster of Metroid Prime. Here it is. Now, there's been a rumor that they've had it done, and they actually had this done apparently for a year, but they've had it done for a while, the whole trilogy ready to go for a while, and they were going to drop it, 6 months or to a year in advance of Metroid Prime 4, which has been announced and not released, even though it was supposed to be released years ago. Typical Nintendo fashion, they take forever. So they just come out of nowhere and say, oh, yeah, here's Metroid Prime Remastered. Oh, yeah, and it's available right now. Go buy it. It's like, okay. I mean, cool. I will give them credit for being diabolical bastards because you figured they were going to re-release the trilogy, and if they did that, it would probably be $60, right, for the 3 games. No. You get Metroid Prime Remastered for $40. They'll probably sell each of them for $40.
Oh, those motherfuckers.
So they'll make double the damn money on it, too.
Everybody will buy it, too.
Filthy. I bought it already. I haven't played it yet, but
fucking Metroid, man.
I had to finish Dead Space first. But anyway, they updated it. I mean, it's not it's not going to look vastly better, but it looks better, and it's got twin stick controls now, which before it didn't. Which was my main bitch about Metroid Prime because it came out during a time where things had twin stick controls. So it was like it was kind of janky to control.
No excuse.
So now it's not. So anyway, if you like Metroid, awesome, go pick it up. If you don't, I don't even know what to say to you. It's like not liking Aqua Teen. It's just very strange. All right. So Nintendo, more Nintendo news, bunch of Nintendo news because they did this Direct, right? Second thing is they have released Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games now on their Direct Online service where, if you pay for their online service, you get the games. So people have complaints about this, right? One is it's not a ton of games. And 2, it's like the selection of games it makes sense in some cases. In some cases, it's weird. 3, some people are mad because they think, well, if you re-released so they took Wind Waker, right? And they released a newer version of it and, it sold pretty well and it looked really cool. Well, people are assuming, well, now that they're releasing the rest of all the Game Boy and Game Boy Advance, Zelda games, it looks like, on this service. You're probably not going to get remasters, remakes of those. I don't know why people think that would, that affected anything. Like,
Yeah, it does.
they were going to remake it or not. I mean, Wind Waker is a no-brainer. The other one's not so much. Like, Minish Cap, no offense, but I don't know if that's going to sell as well as Wind Waker. So the other thing people are whining about, and this one I kind of agree with, is why is Nintendo drip feeding all these old-ass games on this service? Like, Nintendo,
Those are cheap.
for the love of God, just release the fucking games. Like, just give us access to a shitload of old games. Like, they're old. They're 30 to 40 years old. For the love of God. If you want people not to frickin' just say, screw you, buy a Steam Deck and emulate everything, you probably want to provide these games through a service where you can at least make money. Because I would rather just give you the money and get the games on the Switch. But instead, I look at Steam Decks every now and again and go, I could play all these games. Like, Nintendo, get your shit together. As they sell the most consoles of all time and whatever. They're making plenty of money, but they just drive you crazy. They're such weirdos.
They're super autists.
Anyway, Game Boy Advance games are on there. Tetris is on there, so play a little bit of that. Because why not? All right, so more Nintendo-related news. So there is a new Professor Layton game coming out. So if you're a fan of those kind of puzzle games, I played 2 or 3 different ones on the DS. They were pretty fun. Pretend to be Sherlock Holmes for 5 minutes. Now, there's a few of them that will make no sense. Like, there's a few of the puzzles where it's like, come on, no way. This is BS.
Not now, not ever.
But the games were pretty well done, and I always enjoyed them. So this is coming out now for the Switch. The New World of Steam. Layton's got a weird setting to begin with, so I don't know if this is late Victorian or whatever. Who cares? It'll have puzzles. You'll have fun with it.
Fantastic.
The end. So go check that out whenever it comes out. I'm assuming it's coming out this year, but it does not have a date yet. So be on the lookout. All right, speaking of blasts from the past and games coming out, so we're out of just Nintendo land because this is coming out for your X-Brick and your PS5 and Steam and everything else. Katamari Damacy is back. We love Katamari Reroll, coming out in June. So this is actually an HD version of the 2005 release for PS2. We love Katamari, which I can't remember if that's the second or third game in the franchise, I guess. But Katamari Damacy, if you don't remember, is the game where you have a ball and you roll up. You just roll through the world and collect more and more things into a giant ball of stuff. Honestly, it's not a game I've ever played.
That sounds like the most Japanese thing in the world.
It is. It was infamous back in the day as kind of like one of those really fun, quirky Japanese as all hell games. Apparently, there was a re-release of Katamari Damacy, the original game, back in 2018, 2020. So actually, I'm going to kind of check that out because I didn't know that existed. Now we're getting a remake of, like I said, I think it's the sequel, but it could be the third one. I don't remember. So Katamari Reroll coming out June 2nd on every damn console in existence that you'd actually have. Unless you're still playing on like the Jaguar or something. I don't even know.
Jaguar.
Who the hell even owned one of those things? All right. So trailers. Bunch of trailers drop for all sorts of stuff.
So many trailers.
I don't get that excited for trailers anymore, but I'll bring this one up just because it's at least animation adjacent, and I'm kind of intrigued. Even though the franchise itself has not been the best. We got the Transformers Rise of the Beast trailer, newer one that just came out. Got a lot of Mirage stuff in it. It's weird because Mirage is a Porsche, which Chaz does the Porsche, and Mirage was the F1 car. I don't know anymore, man. They screwed it all up.
It's wrong.
But anyway, the newer Bumblebee movie was pretty good. The designs were a hell of a lot better, the Transformers, than the original Bay ones. This has Beast Wars stuff in it, which is kind of interesting. And it actually looks kind of cool. Who knows if the movie will be any good. I'm not going to hold out a lot of hope.
Oh, God. Almost none.
But you know what? If it gets good reviews, I'll check it out.
Yeah, I'll make somebody else watch it first.
Check it out. But anyway, if you're interested in that, you're into that. A lot of people still are. Trailer is out there for you to check out. Now, speaking of movies, I am excited about Shin Kamen Rider has a new trailer that just came out, and the movie will be out on March 17th in Japan. No word yet on a U.S. release. It's going to be an IMAX too over there, which I wish I was over there to go check this out.
Yeah, it'd be pretty wild.
It looks good. So you got, Ano, who's directing and writing. I know a lot of people love Shin Godzilla. Shin Godzilla is very popular. A lot of people really did not like Shin Ultraman. I think they really just didn't understand the tone at all. They didn't get it.
Have you guys never watched Ultraman before?
Yeah, they just didn't.
There's nothing serious in Ultraman. It's wacky.
I think people just got so conditioned to a modern remake of something is not going to be wacky anymore. It's going to be super serious.
Serial.
It's always super serious. So they're just like, what is this? And then some people were like, it was boring. I'm like, I don't get it. It was great. They like jammed everything together into one movie. They
jammed 3 different series together.
Yeah, it was great.
Movie.
I love Shin Ultraman. Regardless, Shin Kamen Rider looks like they'll get some of their wishes because it does look more serious. But Kamen Rider's always been way more super serious to begin with.
It's already had that tone.
It certainly looks a lot more entertaining and a hell of a lot less boring than freaking Black Sun, which made me want to cry.
Bleh.
For being so freaking boring.
Bleh, I say.
But yeah, this looks like it's more of a going back to the well of the original Ishinomori manga. So I will finish my read of that before this comes out.
Hell yeah.
Just to compare. And hey, it's more Ano stuff, right? Like
Ano's been on a tear.
I don't think there's anything he's done that I haven't liked. Like there's some stuff that I always thought had issues and could be better, but
this is like the Ano tour. He's doing everything.
He really is.
He's hitting like every classic franchise.
He is. And he's at least doing a decent job. Even if you weren't the biggest fan of Shin Ultraman, like, listen, he did a much more faithful adaptation of that than like someone like J.J. Abrams does in the West.
Yeah.
He does everything. Yeah, terribly.
Yeah, he really does. He's just like he's a hack of all trades.
Yeah, exactly. Complete hack. So anyway, new trailer out for that. Go check it out. Go pick up that manga. They have the entire original Ishinomori manga in a volume. I read part of it, and it's hilarious.
Super fat mega book.
Super fat, but I mean it's manga, so it reads super fast.
It's an omnibus.
They're not walls of text that greet you. It's not like an 80s DC comic where you're just like, this is supposed to be a comic, right? Like it's all word balloons.
I thought this was a novel.
All right, so we got here another trailer out, which I've not heard of this, but it intrigues the hell out of me. Ballmasters or Ballmaster Z.
Whoa.
Rubicon Specials trailer. So this is a trailer for some sort of animation by Akira Animation, Studio 4 Degrees. I've heard of them. I don't know. Robot Carnival. What's his name? Nakamura from Robot Carnival fame. And Yatterman of all things.
Yatterman
is doing the animation. This is, I guess, the series is Ballmaster Z or Ballmaster 9009. I have no idea what the hell this is, man. It's a thing. It exists. It's going to be on HBO Max. It intrigues the hell out of me. It looks like 70s style super robot stuff.
That's wild.
And Adult Swim.
Oh, okay. Makes sense.
Apparently, it aired for 2 seasons in 2018 on Adult Swim. And on Toonami after that. I was not aware this series existed. I don't know if it's any good. I'm intrigued. So I'm going to go check it out. If y'all want to go check it out, I will go check it out.
I stopped paying attention to Adult Swim like when they canceled everything I liked.
It looks like it's a sequel to Symbionic Titan. You know what I mean?
Oh, really?
Like,
that's wild.
It's not, but it just looks that way, right? Like it's got like, I mean, look at this robot.
It's got that Tartakovsky.
Look at this robot. Tell me that doesn't look like a freaking
Oh, yeah. It's like super
Daikon or, whatever. So, anyway, go check that out if you're into it. It's going to be out on February 20th. Apparently, there's 2 entire seasons of stuff to watch, too. So,
who knew?
Ballmasters, Ballmaster Z, whatever. All right. So, if you like cool backpacks that look ridiculous, boy, does Takara Tomy have something for you.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
So they have a gachapon machine backpack,
which is just funny looking.
which is awesome. So I think you should fill it with beers and use panties because Japan, and maybe hot coffee in a can.
Yeah.
And then, you can get stuff out of it. I mean, that's not what gachapon machines has. Whatever. Just go with it. So it's the Shoei Gacha backpack. It actually has a wheel that turns and clicks the way it's supposed to for a gachapon machine. Backpack's only $75.
It's a pretty good deal.
Pre-orders are open. They close on the 26th. So I don't know. It's kind of cool. It's a cool nerdy ass backpack. If you could get this shipped to you, if you're a backpack kind of guy, kind of gal,
you would be a backpack connoisseur.
Yeah,
at that point.
you would be a true prince or princess of backpacks with this backpack.
A connoisseur.
Regardless, go check it out just because it looks cool. If nothing else, I don't know. I just love wacky Japanese merchandise.
It's pretty funny.
They have the fervor of 80s American merchandise. They just never let go.
It's true. Run wild.
All right, so we're moving back to Nintendo. I pulled this one at the end just to give a little Nintendo break, and that's because the wailing and the gnashing of the teeth over the fact that the sequel to Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, is going to be $70. Oh, my God.
Get a job, chuds.
People can't. They're like, oh, my God, does this mean all the games are going to be $70? What are we going to do? Oh, my God, it's going to be expensive. Oh. Okay. Calm down. I really advise all of you, go look up Video Game Donkey on YouTube and watch his video about video game prices and outrageous video game price charges. It's hilarious because, one, it's a funny video, and two, he inflation adjust video game prices, and Atari games would be $130 nowadays.
Yeah, shit was expensive. You had to save up your allowance for lots and lots of weeks.
I remember paying $75 for fucking Turok for N64 back in 98, 99.
I remember when Life Force originally came out. It was almost $80. You know what I mean?
How much? And think
That's
how
some
much
8-bit trash, son.
And think how much game you're gonna get for Tears of the freaking Kingdom. It's gonna be a dope game, and you know it is.
So shut up and
pay your $70, and you also, I don't know. In the past, they would not have nickel and dimed you with a bunch of extra shit. Nintendo's starting to get a little shady with that, so maybe they will have some downloadable packs and stuff. So I'll be less happy with it if they do that. But honestly, $70. I'm never gonna advocate for creeping prices going up, but just settle down a little bit. Settle down a little bit. I'm not saying it's cool. I'm just saying settle the hell down. It's not the end of the world. I know it's a luxury good to begin with, people. We were just talking about emulators. If you ain't got no damn money and you want to play some games, you can play hundreds and thousands of hours of the best games. You could go look at every 10 to 10 game, best games for the last 20, 30 years. You're going to find plenty of freaking games to play that are readily available at places I won't talk about, right?
It's true.
That you can play for damn free. So, perspective, man, perspective.
Yeah, right.
Anyway, game looks awesome. I will definitely be picking up the second it comes out. Going to be a good time. All right. So moving on here, and I believe this is the last bit of news we got. So I just thought this was kind of interesting and funny. So apparently the BPO, which is a watchdog group of episodes of anime, right? It's a watchdog of, hey, it's like a
an old-timey parents group.
Yes, exactly. They would be like, oh, how dare you? You ruined the children.
Arch nemesis.
Yeah. So apparently they took a little bit of umbrage after a bunch of complaints about so Wish for Mercury was airing at 5:00.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they got some complaints on that last episode for reasons you can imagine why.
I'm not surprised.
When someone actually gets splatted flat into goo.
Quite graphically.
Like old school anime graphically. I mean, it didn't have the intestines floating around, but it was close. It was pretty bad.
It wasn't MD Geist tier, but it was pretty close.
Yeah, they weren't too amused by that. So, they're complaining and thinking maybe it needs to have a later time slot, which,
I
appreciate
imagine it will ramp up next season anyway, so they might have to.
Yeah, we're gonna see because the second half airs in April, I believe. Yeah, April. Apparently, it's still in that same time slot, so
There's a war on.
it hasn't been moved yet. But yeah, I do think if it does escalate like a standard Gundam show, yeah, they may have a point. Like, I get that the series started fairly lighthearted. I'm kind of glad it's ramping up the way it should.
Yeah, classic Gundam style.
So anyway, this one wasn't your usual like outrage mob. This one I thought was a good counterpoint of, yeah, they might actually have a point on this one.
Yeah, it's a bit much for, dinner time.
It is a bit much, but
After school time.
I thought it was interesting. Plus, any opportunity to talk about that ridiculous scene at the end of the first half of the first season or whatever, which for Mercury, I will talk about it because
it set the tone.
that shit was wild. Anyway, that's it. That's the news.
Wow, that's the news. Okay, let's see if I can think 2 weeks back in the past.
Oh my God, Giant Beasts of Ars. Just focus.
No, I got it. Not a lot happened.
We're hitting that point in the season.
Yeah, we're in the mid hump. Anyway, so they left the tree whatever village after it got flooded. So now they've come to like a mountain range. Like that's kind of the edge of their territory, the last village they were in. So now they're like the, I don't know, mountaineers, whatever the fuck you want to call them. Those villages like up in the mountains. So they come across this village and the leader of the village is this gigantic like Fist of the North Star looking dude, mohawk, the whole bit, right? And he's got like a club. And Jiro like freaks out because he recognizes the guy and he's like, he thinks back to this like epic fight he had with him years ago and he beat him. And he thinks they're going to want to like kill him, but they're just into manly combat and they just like, if they're going to stay in that village, he has to like fight him again. Okay. So anyway, he fights him, gets his ass kicked. He might have let him beat him. I'm not sure. But so dude, like it turns out all the guys in the village are cool, and the head guy there, the giant one, for some reason, all the women in that village are hyper tiny, because Jiro thinks he's getting hit on by kids. He's like, nah, all our women are just tiny for some reason.
That's
which
weird.
Is funny.
Someone had a fetish.
Yeah, apparently. But anyway, the giant guy turns out to be a paladin. And his wife is, because his wife is always like sitting on his shoulder like a fucking parrot because she's like tiny.
So his wife is his
his
weapon.
cleric, yeah.
Yep.
So anyway, they fight stuff. They're all bros, blah blah blah. So then the next episode, which was this past week, there's been another one of those clones of Kumi creeping around.
Yep.
With another guy you assume is her paladin. So anyway, there's a kerfuffle outside of the village they're in, and they go to check it out, and Jiro and Kumi run into those two guys, and it turns out that the paladin is a guy who Jiro used to know way back in the day. They actually show like
so he's going down memory lane.
Yeah, in like the first or second episode, it's like a flashback, and he's in there. But anyway, he doesn't remember Jiro. He's got a big scar on his forehead, so you assume he like lost his memory somewhere.
Sure.
But he's working.
Very anime of him.
Yeah, they're all working for that dick that made the all the Kumis.
Okay, yeah, they made all the Purus.
Yeah, basically all the zillion like I don't know how paladins, I don't know if they're just born that way or if they're made, or they haven't really explained that yet. But anyway, there's apparently, and then they get into, so they have to fight them. This guy is as good as like a paladin and a cleric together, like by himself. So everybody gets their asses kicked. They retreat, blah, blah, blah. But then there's this like background thing happening between like whatever that kingdom is that all these villages are in. There's like one chick who's like Well, there's like the guy who's making all these. I don't know what he's up to.
He's making all the Purus.
But he's making like the fake clerics or
Yep.
whatever. And then there's this other chick that's trying to like, find out what he's doing, blah, blah, blah. They don't really make a big deal out of it, so you barely even know their names, but like that's kind of like the background thing.
Yeah, they're laying seeds for shit they'll deal with later.
Yeah, because he's like up to no good.
That's how that always works.
But anyway, that was basically those episodes. Oh, excuse me. Revenger?
Sure.
What was... Oh! I remember now. Anyway, so there's in 2 weeks ago episode, there is a freak show in town. And then
Sounds hot.
a bunch of kids go missing.
Ooh.
And it
That sounds
turns
less
out that the guy who runs the freak show...
Is grafting children together to make horrible monsters?
he's kidnapping kids anyway. I don't know what
Yeah, I mean, I got that.
He's kidnapping like all these weird like hill kid like
It's
hill
very
folk.
his Dark Materialism.
But anyway, apparently he was the one that sold Neo to the hell's his name? Ewan.
Yep.
Oh, and just to correct myself, remember when I said he had a yo-yo?
Yes.
Neo does not have a yo-yo.
Okay.
He has this crazy fishing reel thing that's for flying a kite.
Oh, okay.
But when he's murdering people with it, he puts like a weight on the end
Uh-huh.
that looks like a yo-yo.
Got you.
So I'm retarded, but not that retarded.
Okay.
And then it's got like string that like cuts people in half. Anyway, that's
very anime of him.
Anyway, so the guy that runs the carnival freak show, whatever, he snags a bunch of kids, and it happens to be the friends of the girl whose family runs like the boarding house that Soji and Raizo are staying in. So she tells them, they go to look around. Ewan knows like that the freak show is in town because the guy basically went up to him and was like, sell me Neo back because he's the greatest. And he's like, no, you're an asshole. Anyway, so Neo really wants to kill the guy from the freak show.
Yep.
So he basically sneaks in to where they're like all the stolen kids are being kept.
Yep.
And he because you know how they can't do anything unless like they get a gold coin that's been bit.
Yeah.
Like that's their thing. Like that's the signal how you hire them. You like get a gold coin, you put bite marks in it.
It's like hiring John Wick, but just you bite the coin first.
Exactly.
Got it.
That's exactly how it works. Anyway, so he basically throws the kid a coin, to bait them into getting revenge for the kid. Even, it's basically a setup because Neo wants to kill that guy.
Yeah, sure.
Anyway, that happens the rest of the episode. I won't get too deep into it. And then, this week is they're getting back into the, what is that stuff? Poppies.
Opium,
thank you. My brain went blank. Anyway, they're getting back.
Too many of that product.
Right, they're getting
Too
back.
much of that product.
They're getting back into the opium thing. So, the people who were actually selling opium, because they went and they basically killed all the people that were responsible for that whole kerfuffle.
Yeah.
That got his father-in-law and shit murdered by him. But then the people who are selling the opium think that Raizo has the opium because it disappeared.
Yep.
It's like hidden somewhere in that town. It's in Nagasaki, actually. So it's hidden somewhere in Nagasaki. And, but he has no fucking idea. He's like...
They think he knows. He doesn't
So they
know.
keep trying to kill him. They kidnap him. His bros save him. Blah, 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 blah. Mystery intensifies. It's
It's the mystery of the missing opium.
Yes. But we're getting to the point in both those shows where, you're getting to, the main story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What was
I
the
do.
other one? Oh, the other one is...
Handyman Saito.
Yes. Last week, they were just in the dungeon, and they were fighting that stupid... Remember how there was that ninja who was kept trying to ask out that witch?
Yep.
And then the witch sent him to hell, basically. And then he came back from hell with 2 demons, and now he's looking for the witch again.
Pretty badass.
But then he finally finds the witch, and she's somebody killed the sorcerer that cursed her. Cursed her with eternal life.
Yep.
So now she's getting super old, super fast, and about to die. So him and apparently that little fairy that's like hanging around with him. She has like black wings.
Okay.
She's like friends with the witch.
Very dumb bind of them.
So they're in the dungeon trying to find spells that will like reverse time.
Yup.
Which Morlock has, because he's the guy who found them, basically. Even though he's fucking retarded and doesn't remember.
Yep.
But they actually explain why he doesn't remember. He got cursed by another guy.
Memory problems? In an anime?
Yeah.
Twice?
Yeah. That's his thing. He can't remember shit.
Shocking.
He can never remember his spells, and then Saito has to, like, memorize all the spells and just, like, tell them to him. Anyway, they explained that whole business. So anyway, but that's in the next episode. This episode, the stupid ninja is trying to kill everybody because he wants to get to that part of the dungeon first so he can find those spells. Yada, yada, yada. They're getting their asses kicked, though. So they summon this fucking demon. It's basically like a pillar that comes up with a zillion eyes in it to shoot fucking lasers. And it's, like, impossible to kill.
Yeah, that's always an annoying enemy in a game. Stupid laser pillar.
Yes. And then that whole next episode is Morlock's backstory about how he had a family, and then his daughter died.
Here's a bunch of backstory.
His daughter died while he was trying to do, like, epic things, so he'd be, like, the most badass of mages.
Yeah, so he feels bad about it.
He feels bad about it. Then he goes and finds the spell that will reverse time, except they keep showing up in that, like, there's this one room in the dungeon that has a bunch of shit from Saito's world in it.
Yep.
And for some reason everybody keeps ending up there, like, finding stuff. It's weird. It's got to have something to do with something. But anyway, there's another guy in there that is, I guess he's from another world, but not Saito's world. He's like a god, basically.
Okay.
And he's just like,
so he's the guy from Gate and he's got guns?
kind of. Nah, he definitely doesn't. Morlock's just like, okay, like, do whatever, but could you just grant me, like, could you just give me the spell I need? Because he finds a bunch of spells, but none of them are, like, go back in time spells. They're just, like, other time shenanigan spells. That does not do him any good when you're trying to bring somebody back to life. Anyway, so he asks him to do it, and he's just like, nah, I'm just going to make you forget you have a daughter because I'm an asshole.
Wow.
So that's why his memory's fucked now, and he doesn't remember he has a daughter, and it's a whole thing. I imagine it's going to come to a head at some point.
Yeah, that's the reason you do that, right?
But anyway, Saito remembers one of the time spells, and then he tells it to Morlock, and then Morlock does the time spell, except the time spell just freezes time for everyone but Morlock. And he is too stupid to kill this thing.
Well, I mean,
while it's frozen.
That's very...
So it's a problem.
That's very Zawarudo. Zawarudo.
Yeah, right.
Very JoJo's of him. Very Dio of him.
Because they were all going to, like... They thought that, like, he was just going to be able to freeze the pillar, but that is not how it worked. It froze everybody but him, because they were all going to go stab it in the eyes and shit. Anyway, that's where the episode ended, and he's fucked.
Okay.
And that's the 3 shows I watched.
Trigun?
You mean endless disappointment?
Trigun?
No, I'm just kidding.
I'm endlessly disappointed. It's just
he is still
I really was fast.
character.
Yeah, they're really, it's getting to a head at this point. So the first episode was the one where they go to that kind of abandoned town, and he runs into the, like, little kid who was apparently in this town. They were, like, sacrificing little kids to, like, experiments.
Oh yeah.
Because there's a whole backstory.
They were sacrificing little kids to keep the...
Yeah, but they were really dragging them off for experiments.
Yeah,
right?
to keep the plant going or something, but they were really, like, fucking...
Well, yeah, because they were...
Knives Goons were, like...
Yeah, because they were sacrificing... Knives Goons would keep the plant running because they sent the kids, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
And they would experiment on the kids. There's this whole thing going on where Knives Crew is just experimenting on endless kids. That's all Wolfwood stuff in the next episode.
Yeah.
They might have did a little bit in this episode, but it's mostly the next one. So... In this one, you know, the kid is some giant, freakish, Bane-looking guy with, like,
giant
mad Gatling
fucking
guns,
mini guns on his arms.
and it's a lot of it is about Vash cashing freaking writing checks that his ass can't cash. Like, I promise you I'm going to do this. I promise you I'm going to do this. Like,
And then
could you live in reality, please? Like, I feel Wolfwood's exasperation. Like, what is wrong with you? Like, because he doesn't live in reality. Like, I get it. Like, you shouldn't just judge people. You shouldn't just do this. You shouldn't just kill people. Why do you get to decide? But, dude, like,
they're deciding to try to kill you, so I think that's good.
And how many more people are getting killed because of your decisions, you freaking moron? It's the whole Batman Joker conundrum. Like, Batman not killing the Joker is the morally incorrect thing. Like, it just is.
Yeah.
Not the first time, not the second time, maybe, but after like the third or fourth time he breaks out and kills people, like, that's it. You choke them out and you dump them in the river. Like, you're done. You're done here. Anyway, that's that first episode. They deal with that, and it ends as well as you would think it would end because Vash is kind of an idiot. And then the next episode, they're on like the
sand ship.
Yeah, like the sand. I was thinking like sand cruise ship, and that's like a transport ship, but it's freaking enormous. It makes the sand crawler look like garbage, right? Like, it's
true.
Ultra huge. And then there's crazy like neon freaking
the bandits.
Bandits that are like Mad Max but with extra neon.
Yeah.
Attacking the ship. Pirates, I guess they would be. I don't know. Sand pirates. Oh, they had a funny
Brigands.
name. Something boys. Like Lovely Boys or something. It's a ridiculous name.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
But Vash and Wolfwood are on here because they're trying to go to what is that? I keep thinking La Salette. Jesus Christ. What the frick is the name of the July?
Yeah.
They're trying to go to July. And this is the ship that'll take them there. Also another one. So you get Wolfwood's backstory where like he got experimented on when he was a kid by Knives Crew, and you find out that he kind of still is a kid. Like,
yeah,
he artificially grew.
They artificially grew him over a few years, so he's probably like,
it was a side effect.
There's probably like 12 or something.
Yeah, because whatever the drug he can take is, he just responds to it really well and regenerates, but it also made him grow into a full-grown man. So he's probably more like 13 in actuality, but
yeah.
He acts more like an adult than Vash, so whatever. And Vash is way older. And then there's another kid from there that was his friend when he was a little kid that they also captured and experimented on. So now Wolfwood finally meets somebody that he's not really willing to kill right away, right?
Yeah, he certainly doesn't want to.
So you have that going on. Then you have a couple of Knives goons are going to show up. So that jerk with all the psyker powers.
Oh, he's a motherfucker.
And the stupid kid with who was around before with the bug control powers.
Yeah, he needs to eat.
Yeah, the dude with telekinesis is a pain in the ass. So it's all kind of coming to a head. It ends on a cliffhanger. Hopefully they deal with the Vash thing sooner rather than later. Like, the original series always annoyed me because it just dragged on and on
like
and on.
fucking last 2 episodes or something. Like, Jesus Christ.
Like, Vash, you can't just act this way. It's not helpful. So we'll see where it goes. I mean, that's always been my bitch about Trigun. I'm liking this one better than the original.
Yeah, I definitely do.
But I still have the same character problems.
Yes. You got to get over your shit, son.
He's got to get over his shit. Anyway, that was Trigun. It still looks freaking fantastic. Like, very well animated show.
Quite attractive.
And I'm enjoying it. So we'll see how many episodes it gets. Hopefully we'll get like a 24, 26 and it'll go right through, but we'll see. We shall see. All right. Want to talk about some Junji Ito?
I do.
Weirdness.
Let's do it.
Let me see. Let me take a little sip here, and then I'll talk us through it because I got it up on the screen here.
I think I like these last 4 episodes more than the 4 preceding them.
Yeah, the middle 4 are the weakest, I would say.
I mean, they're good, but I like these better.
Yeah, no.
They're extra wacky.
No, these were better. These were definitely better. I mean, it starts off with a Tomie one. So Tomie is like, there's a whole bunch of Tomie stories. I have the whole trade. I got to read it one of these days.
Which is pretty smart since, she can't die. So you figure there'd be a few stories.
Yeah, who's the parasite here? Like, the whole story is about, there's one girl at the school. They're at a school. Tomie is like, she's like the super popular girl or whatever.
Yeah, kind of.
And she's got goons.
She does have goons.
And there's this other girl who's taking pictures of everybody.
She's in
Tsukiko.
She's in the photography club, and she like She's really good at getting creep shots of people, so she like sells pictures of people to like.
She primarily takes creep shots of dudes to sell to girls.
Yeah, basically.
Which is interesting. It's kind of the reverse. But anyway, as the story, you're trying to figure out what the creepy angle is here, right? And then Tomie orders one of the guys to kill her. So he like cozies up to her and has her take some pictures and then gets her alone and tries to strangle her out, which is kind of weird, not a character, and strange. And Tomie is just kind of torturing her this whole episode. And then it all comes to a head at her house. Like Tomie comes over and with her goons, in tow.
Because you have your goons.
Although they're waiting outside. And then Tomie's got like an extra face. Like when they developed the photos they took of Tomie, she's got like crazy
extra like face sticking out of the back of her head.
It's like Malignant if you've ever seen it, which kind of reversed because Malignant came out way after Tomie ever came out. But where there's this like evil version of her, and then they like chop her up, like she's yelling to like remove the tumor. So her crew is like trying to chop the face off, but then, like the side of her head.
But they fuck up and end up cutting her head off.
They cut her head off, but then like the body's wandering around by itself, but then the head's like, oh, I'm the like. Who's the parasite? Who's not the parasite? Like,
yeah, who knows?
Who the hell knows, man? It's real goddamn weird, and it gets real bloody at the end, but highly entertaining. I'm not even explaining it very well. It's freaking weird. If you watch any one of these, I'm not saying this is the best one, but it's up there. So if you're gonna pick and choose,
classic probably.
Yeah, if you're gonna pick and choose, Tomie is gonna be Hanging Balloons is probably the best. But Tomie is right up there, too. Watch Hanging Balloons, watch Tomie. You'll have a feel for whether you're going to like these or not. Next episode, double episode, Unendurable Labyrinth and the Bully. So Unendurable Labyrinth is weird. Some girls are like following monks. Apparently was it one of their brothers? No, they run to the girl later. They're kind of like lost in the forest and they come across a monk, traditional Japanese style monk, like a Shinto monk. It takes them back to their aesthetic community where they do monk things, and it's very cult-like. It's very strange and cultist, and they get asked to stay the night. Oh, it's dangerous, whatever. And they meet up with another girl there who's been there for a couple months or whatever. Yeah, looking for her brother who disappeared. He apparently joined the cult years ago and disappeared. She assumes he's dead or lost or whatever, right? And they, as they're wandering around, there's weird stuff with the monks, and then she wants to go look in this one place for her brother. This cave where they go to meditate and die, apparently. So this is based on an actual thing that there was a cult of monks that did, where they would drink like
resin and shit.
Resin and all sorts of nasty chemicals, and then have themselves like nailed into a box, and they'd open them up. I think it was 3 years later, and if they rotted, well, they weren't pious enough. If they mummified, they did it right, and they would have ascended to heaven or wherever they ascended to. Right?
Yeah.
So they go into this one place here where it's the same thing, except instead of being nailed into a box, they're just kind of standing up in rows and rows and rows.
Yeah, like statues.
And it's like an endless labyrinth in like cut into the side of a mountain, and they just wander through it. The girl finds her brother. I don't know how, because all the freaking guys look the same. And then they leave her behind, and they feel bad about it. Then they notice that the dead monks are all staring at them, and they freak out. They can't escape, and then it ends. Like, it's very Junji Ito. It's a good little creepy story. Then the Bully, where it was just a girl who's in a park, little girl, like 8, 9, whatever.
Yeah, like,
and she's forced to play with this other little boy who's there, who's her mother brings by, who's like 6 or 7. He's younger.
He like just moved in.
He just moved in, and then she starts torturing him worse and worse and worse. She's like half drowning him. She's slapping him. She's like making him fetch the ball from the mean dog's yard. Like, and then later she grows up and she's telling the story to her fiance or boyfriend or whatever. And he's like, oh yeah, that doesn't bother me. But then the little kid has grown up and she meets him, and then she gets with him. But then
she's like, ha ha ha, I've been like seeing him this whole time.
And then and then she has a kid with the little kid from before, and who's now grown up, and then starts torturing the kid. It's just a weird. It's a good cycle of violence thing, I suppose. But
basically,
although it's just her the whole time because she's the worst.
No, but that's like the kid's vengeance Because their kid is exactly like he was when he was a kid, and he knows it's going to, like, drive her nuts.
It just drives her nuts to make her like she was before, where she's just mean. But, yeah, it's all fucked up. These people are fucked up, and they're terrible.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. All right, so next episode, these are all double episodes from here out. You got the back alley and Headless Statue. So back alley, a guy rents out a room.
Oh, this one was super creepy.
This one was weird. This guy's renting out a room, and he hears noises in the alley behind the room. Apparently, they couldn't keep anybody in this room for long. Like, people would leave. They kept trying to rent it. And then he notices there's this wall with, like, barbed wire at the top. That's like 2 stories
like the alley
tall.
is, like, blocked off, and it's like it's like 2 stories high. There's barbed wire on the top. Like, they really do not want you to get in there.
Come to find out, there were kids that were playing in the alley way back in the day, and then the daughter killed the kids. Like, locked them.
Yeah, they're like bullying her or something, so she locked them in this basement.
Lured them into this grate and like
they just like stopped to death.
But now, like, there's shadows of them on the wall, and they come out every night and make noise. And then she killed her father too, and like, she's just messed up and horrible. But then she gets trapped down there with all the shadows that come out.
Yeah, like right at the end of the episode, she like goes down there to like fuck with the kid who was renting the room because he was down there and he wasn't supposed to be. And then there she goes to crawl back up and the rope breaks, which is classic.
So, classic little trope, decent episode, half episode, whatever. And then the Headless Statue is just bizarre, where a guy makes all these, like, they look kind of like mannequins. They're statues, but they look basically like mannequins with no heads. And then they come to life, and they, like, kill him and steal his head, and they kill another girl and steal her head, and it's kill another guy. They're like they're killing people and stealing their heads. Basically, is the premise. There, nothing else. I mean, there's obviously running around and scenes and stuff. And for part of the episode,
that's the basics of it. Yeah,
she's clearly following around what she thinks is her friend, but is a dude who's her friend's head, her now dead friend's head that's been stuck on one of these statues.
Yeah, super creepy.
It's just creepy. Cool premise, though. That's a lot of this, right? Like, don't go in expecting, like, the best narrative ever. Like, that's not what this is about. These are, like, cool little concepts, right?
Yeah.
Whispering Women and Shuichi's beloved pet. So, Whispering Woman. Whispering Woman is a creepy one. That's a creepy thought experiment where this one girl who's getting, like, beaten by her boyfriend at home. She goes and takes a job with this girl who can't, like, make any decisions. She freaks the hell out.
Yeah, she has some weird condition where, like, she cannot make any decisions. So she
like anything, like,
out.
Should I get out of bed? Should I drink water? She can make no decisions.
Yeah, like, you have to basically tell her how to live her entire life 24/7.
So she does that. This girl, like, gets behind her, and she basically becomes her shadow, and she just whispers in her ear all day what to do. And the girl gets better, but then the boyfriend, who's a total piece of crap, escalates. He ends up killing the girl who's helping the fanatical girl out, the hysterical girl. And the girl who was always hysterical, even after the her shadow basically dies, is still fine. But then they show, like, the ghost of that girl is still whispering in her ear,
basically
telling her what to do. It's just creepy. And then there's some stuff with her father too, being kind of a rich douchebag, but whatever. That one was just a weird one. Again, I thought it was an interesting concept.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
the woman just basically faded into nothing.
Well, and the little girl goes and kills her ex-boyfriend at the end.
Oh, that's right. I totally forgot about that twist. That was the best part.
That is pretty much like the money.
Yeah. The ghost gets the girl to go kill the boyfriend, so that makes a lot more sense, right?
Yeah.
And then the last one is Shuichi. So, remember the Four Walls episode?
Yes.
With the little annoying brother. So this is another episode with the same family and the same brother, and the brother is a shit, just like he was before. And this time, the family gets a cat. It's like a nice cat. They adopt, it follows them home. It's super nice. And then it starts hanging out with Shuichi. It hates Shuichi at first, scratches him up. Then it starts hanging out with him, and it becomes like a demon cat. Like it's literally like dragging like Cthulhu monsters up out of the like really sewers and stuff.
Where
like,
the fuck did you find that?
Like it literally goes down into hell to drag stuff back. It's freaking nuts. And it's just such an asshole. And then it gets shocked because Shuichi's a total dick. It is causing problems. He gets shocked. Cat gets shocked. And then the cat's fine. The cat's fine, and Shuichi's in the hospital.
Basically.
And he's such a dick. So that was just a funny little...
Yeah, it was.
A funny little story. That one, it was fun. I don't know. If I was recommending a half episode, it would be that one.
Yes.
That one was pretty good. I liked it. Anyway, you have any thoughts on the series as a whole?
As anyone who's ever listened to any of these knows, I'm a mad sucker for anthologies. So, I mean, it's like right up my alley. I love a ton of short little stories. He's a great concept guy.
Great concept guy.
Like, I love
his designs, too.
Yeah, they are really good. I just love a lot of quick little stories, like new ideas. And that's like, everything is basically devoid of imagination now, so it's nice to see, like, completely original concepts. You know what I mean?
And it's kind of pure imagination. Like, there's not a lot of follow-through on these, nor should there be.
No, it's just like a 10-minute, it doesn't really have an ending, doesn't really have any kind of story arc. It's just a bunch of stuff happens, and it's interesting.
Yep. Yeah, that's my feeling on it. They did a really good job adapting it. Animation's good.
I mean, that's what I always crushed it about his manga. It was just like, 20 pages of wacky whatever, and
Well, in this, they didn't fuck with the character designs at all. Like
nothing. It was like right off the page.
It looks,
really good.
the things look correct, which he has a very particular style. And I don't mean a weird style. It's interesting because it's a very, you can almost call it bland. Like, it's a very normal style,
Yeah,
but it's like, there's something about it that people are a little goggle-eyed. Like,
yeah, just like a little off.
It's a little off. It's a little creepy. I like it. So they translated that well. Yeah, I would say go check it out. If you're a fan of those anthology series, check it out.
Oh, definitely.
Watch Hanging Balloons if you like that.
Tomie.
Go watch Tomie, and then if you still like it at that point, go through the other ones.
Yeah, I'd watch the rest.
The order doesn't matter. Like, they're in an order on Netflix. It doesn't matter. I mean, they're all standalone. Pretty much.
Basically.
Except for the two Soichi stories, but they don't depend. You can watch those in either order.
Yeah,
so.
it doesn't matter.
But yeah, it was good stuff. It was good to see after the Gyo adaptation was so just mediocre.
So bad.
It made no sense. Don't have your own ideas about these things, people. Like, just adapt it.
Yeah, just do the thing.
Christ.
It's already there.
All right. Well, we've reached it. We've reached time. Want to talk about Aqua Teen Hunger Force?
I do. For
Number
like
one in the
hours.
hood, G.
Nothing is more sad. Like, in this time and place, 2023, everything is sucked for a good 5 years. It's like so nice for something that I used to really, really enjoy. It's like the Zim movie again.
It's
right?
been a good couple years for that, right? Zim movie, Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah, like it's really nice when something that you loved comes back and it's exactly the same.
Metalocalypse Adventure coming back, which I'm going to say right now, those will be good. They'll be fine.
Yeah, I don't foresee any issues. No. Like, God, the Aqua Teen movie is so funny.
No, only Rocco will disappoint you forever.
Yeah. That was bad time.
So, Aqua Teen Forever Plantasm. So if you don't know about Aqua Teen Hunger Force, I mean, go watch some Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
For the love of Christ.
It's on HBO Max, except that one episode, which is hilarious, where Shake's pretending to be a black guy. You can find that elsewhere. So it's about a giant sentient cup. It's about a wad of meat, and it's about a box of fries. And it's about Carl. And it's not really about any of that because it's just wacky nonsense.
It's the height of like Adult Swim stoner like cartoons.
It was the best of all those things. It was the weirdest and the best. Like Assy McGee, no, get the hell out of here.
Yeah,
like,
no. Aqua Teen was the best.
Aqua Teen was the best, right? Silly as all hell, but funny. Fucking funny. So it's the whole crew's back. It's all the same people, right? Same voice actors. Carl, of course, the fat Jersey neighbor who works out at a home.
Oh, God, who's better than Carl?
And so this is a movie, but it's really, I mean, what is it, 70 minutes? The Moon of Nights keeps taking away time. 76 minutes. So it's short as it should be. They don't try to overstay their welcome.
No, it's great.
It's got wacky adventures as you would expect, right? Like everybody's broke, everybody's poor. But I don't know. Somehow they're still on the moon at some point, right? I mean,
well, the beginning of the whole beginning of it is they have this like amazing adventure in space, blah blah blah.
Yes,
save the world, and then
yeah, but that's just Master Shake talking crap.
and then everything goes to shit, and like they're back, and like they're all homeless, and like
yep. Master Shake with the homeless beer was pretty good.
Yes,
was pretty good.
Shake's homeless. Meatwad's living in a dog kennel.
A dog kennel. And getting eaten by the dogs half the
Eaten
time.
by the dogs. What the fuck was Frylock doing?
Oh, Frylock was...
he's working at fake Amazon.
Tech support. So, yeah, a lot of this is about fake Amazon. Amazing.
Yeah, amazing.
So a lot of this is definitely shitting on Amazon.
The whole thing is
Amazon
just
culture.
dunking on shitty tech billionaires
Yep.
and Amazon and, I don't know, everything that's wrong with the world, basically.
So you have this setup and like the town in Jersey where they're in, because of course it's in Jersey. Like everything is pretty much Amazon at this point. Well,
Yeah.
Amazing, whatever. It's not really Amazon. Except for like Carl's house and their old house.
Yeah, they bought up like most of the town.
And Carl's like, yeah, I'm gonna get rich now.
Yeah, they're getting ready to sell out.
Of course that's not gonna work. And then there's a whole plot with what is that guy's name? He's got such a terrible name. Neil and Big Neil. So Neil, he's like the tiniest man. He's like 4'7" or something.
Yeah, and
4'6".
they're always trying to invent machines and shit to like stretch it because he wants to be taller.
Yeah, because he wants to be taller. And he's got his own guy working there who's super smart, but then he finds out Frylock is also super smart and
knows how to clone things.
and what he really wants is the magic jewel, scrapings from the magic jewel on his back.
Yeah.
Because that can animate whatever. So that's where the plot goes. There's evil plant monsters. They're also exploiting the labor of two different types of like freaky aliens.
Yeah.
One that just like pukes up slime all over the place all the time. The other one that's constantly shedding skin.
Yes.
And they're mad dusty.
So dusty.
So I don't even know how to explain the plot of this movie. I don't know if there's even a point. Like basically the plant monsters are going to exist because the guy who works, not the CEO of fake Amazon, but the R&D guy is all mad and he wants to have like
he's mad because Frylock took his place.
Frylock took his place, so he like basically makes it so all the boxes are just made out of like recycled seeds.
Yeah, like plant material
that will turn into plant
and
monsters.
And then the minute you get them wet, they turn into like fucking plant monsters.
And then the plant monsters are gonna help him rule the world. It doesn't really work out for him. They're really dumb.
And it's all because they need the Aqua Teen Hunger Force to get back together to save the day.
Yeah, exactly. It's all one plot.
It's basically an 80s movie plot, because of course it is.
Yeah, expect it to be insane. Expect it to not make a lot of sense, except to be extremely entertaining.
Expect it to be funny as hell.
There's an awesome fight with the Mooninites on the moon.
Yes.
And they're a two-dimensional robot.
They just get behind it and push it over.
Do not push us from behind. We are very unstable.
Oh my god, so fucking funny.
It doesn't. I was glad they as much as I say that's silly, it doesn't have much of a plot, but it does, and it
has like a real.
It's not just a bunch of stupid cameos. Like I wouldn't mind that, but they didn't go that way. I'm kind of like that they did do that. Like there's no Plutonians in this, right? Like there's no Dad owns dealership. There's no, you know what I mean? Like
frat aliens. Now it's just Mooninites. That's it.
It's pretty much just Mooninites and
no, they actually put effort into it.
And Markula, because he owns the apartment.
Yeah, it really does.
The evil vampire. It's the animation's slightly better, as you would expect, because it's newer in a movie.
It wouldn't be funny if it was that good, though. Like.
But it's not exactly. They did it well. They did it well by not having it.
It'd be funny if they got so
good.
much money they just like. They animated the whole thing.
It would look
just
so
like
weird.
change the character designs. That would be wicked funny.
That's what I mean. It would be so weird. Master Shake is still the biggest piece of shit in existence.
It's his game.
Him and Meatwad living in like cardboard boxes on Carl's backyard. Oh my god.
I'm a homeowner.
It's good stuff.
Oh,
anyway,
God.
What other thoughts you got about this?
Oh god, it was perfect.
Oh, Sean Kemp as Sean Kemp.
Yeah.
Just inserted
for no
NBA
reason.
star Sean Kemp.
Yeah,
just like flailing his arms around.
that whole stupid like fake Space Jam thing in the beginning.
Oh, the fake Space Jam with Sean Kemp was awesome.
Just shitting all over LeBron so hard.
It was so good.
Oh god. Anyway, I don't know what to tell you. Like, if you like Aqua Teen Hunger Force, it's going to be amazing. You're going to enjoy the shit out of it like I did. And if you don't like it, then you're not going to enjoy it. I mean, there's nothing else.
That's all there is to it, right?
There's nothing for it. It is Aqua Teen Hunger Force turned up to 11 with a budget. I mean, you can't lose.
And you know what? They've just announced they're doing at least 8 more episodes.
Yes. I'm so excited.
I'm here for it. I am totally here for it.
I want the revival of all those things.
I mean, it was good, so I'm there, right? Like that Beavis and Butthead movie was good, and then the series was good, so let's hope that trend continues here as well.
That was the one. This movie is the one I was least excited for. And it was fantastic. So I have really high hopes for Metalocalypse Adventure Brothers. That's
Yeah?
what I'm saying.
Oh, I also appreciate that Killer Mike was Boxy Brown,
Yes.
which was funny.
That was amazing.
Anyway, it's actually really well done. It's Aqua Teen.
It was actually better than I expected it to be, which is probably why I'm so...
The animation is not the
so
thing
dumb.
there for you to appreciate. It's the dumb humor, but not so dumb that it's like, haha, funny joke. And it's
No,
not so
it's-
random, like, a bunch of non sequiturs and freaking Family
Yeah.
Guy.
Yeah, no. It's actually well written. The jokes are funny because they're supposed to be funny. It's
Carl is still Carl.
Oh, God. Yeah. Carl, you could just do Carl by himself and it would be fucking
You pretty much
hilarious.
none of this matters.
This doesn't matter. None of this matters. I love the beginning, all the Carl spiders. They're just spouting his,
All his
fucking
lines.
lines.
I liked when he was like saving his Eli Manning helmet.
His bobblehead.
His bobblehead. That was so good.
Oh, God. Too good.
Oh my God. Yeah, just watch it. I mean, if you like funny, stupid humor, watch it. Give it a try. It's on HBO Max now.
If you've
Check
never
it out.
heard of it, I highly recommend you watch it because there's 20 fucking seasons of the show that you could watch after that if you enjoy
And very
it.
few of them are bad. Episodes. Like there was that dip, but it gets
Yeah.
better after that.
I think it was maybe season 5 or
Season
6.
5 or so.
It
Yeah,
got a little weird.
4 or 5. It got a little.
But
Once you hit Ham Banana, you'll know you're in the weird zone.
Yeah, but then it comes right back.
It
It's
does.
only a matter
And
of
honestly,
episodes.
they put out a bunch of shorts. You can watch them on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
Check out those shorts that came out right before this movie. If that kind of humor is your kind of humor, watch the damn movie.
Where Ham Banana gets glued to Carl's ass.
Oh my God.
I'm waiting you out.
It's so good.
Anyway, that's pretty much it for that. As usual, have a fantastic week. Don't trust the government. What's the scam of the week? Can't even think of anything.
I don't know if there's a scam. Well, the
Don't
scam-
go to Ohio.
No, the scam of the week is don't pay attention to what's going on in Ohio. Pay attention to the alien balloons we're shooting down. Woo!
Oh my God, that might be the funniest thing on earth. Epstein's client list coming out. Fucking shit's blowing up everywhere, and they're like, aliens, guys. What? You guys like that, right? You want to see the aliens?
Not that kind of podcast.
Anyway, we'll catch you next time.
Peace. Well, that's all for today, everyone. We'd like to thank all of you for tuning into another episode of the Gaijin Animation Appreciation Hour. Please remember to like and subscribe, and may your entertainment be always, well, entertaining.